Hi, welcome back to week 2. I'm going to call today Oblique Love because we are getting into our obliques today. So our obliques are two types of abdominal muscles. So there's internal obliques and external obliques. One of them runs in the direction that if you were to put your hands in the pockets, that's one way. And then it's like a cross hatching, it goes the other way. And the reason I love working the obliques is the obliques create rotation in the body. So they allow us to move and spiral. And we use spirals in most of our daily movements. So the walk that I wanted you to go on a couple of times last week, I wanted you to swing your arms because I wanted you to notice that we have this beautiful rotational capacity when we walk. And if we stop that rotational capacity, if we really lock ourselves down, we're not allowing force to transfer very well through our spine, through our abdominals, and we're not moving very well. It happens often when we've had back pain, if you've had chronic back pain, after we've been pregnant and we've been stuck in a position for quite a long amount of time, we lose that sort of natural ability to rotate and transfer load through our abdominal region, which is why we're focusing on it today. I have filmed this whole class once already and I plugged my microphone into the wrong part of my camera. So I've already done this class. I'm really hoping my obliques can hold out for another class as well. But we'll see how we go. I've got hope. I'm hopeful. If you've got a ball, grab your ball. If you don't, absolutely fine. Come onto your back. The reason I want you to have a ball today is we're going to put it between the knees and give the knees a gentle squeeze. And that's starting to work our inside thighs. The inside thighs have a direct correlation with these oblique muscles in our abdominals. So we're just going to get all of it starting, all of it working together. Bring the arms out wide to the side. You're going to let the knees fall to one side. And then I want you to roll the pelvis all the way back onto the mat. You're going to let the knees fall to the other side. Roll the pelvis back onto the mat. So just gently moving one side and then the other side. Just taking some nice breaths while we do this. Bringing our attention to our body today and how it's feeling. Are you feeling sore or stiff in any particular place? And come back to center. I'm just going to get you to squeeze and hold that ball for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And again, squeezing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. And when you squeeze this ball, I want you to plant the pelvis. So I don't want you to think of flattening and tucking your tailbone underneath as you squeeze. I want you to keep everything nice and heavy and still as you squeeze your thighs. So can that squeeze of your thighs be just your thighs and nothing else? And relax. Beautiful. Now grab the ball. I'm going to get you to, so you can put it to one side. I'm going to get you to lift one leg up to tabletop, and we're just going to extend that leg out and bring it back in again. Extend it out and bring it back in. Now, if you put your hand just at the front of the hip bone, you're going to feel the bottom part of your abdominal start to kick in. So this isn't an abdominal exercise. We're isolating just the hip joint here. But you're going to start feeling these muscles at the front stabilizing your torso. Because while you're moving the leg, again, I want that heavy groundedness of your pelvis. You're trying to not let it move at all. Beautiful. Return that leg down. We're lifting the other leg up to tabletop and then doing the same thing with that other leg. Straighten it out, bend it back in again. If you want to, the other hand goes to the opposite hip, just starting to feel those abdominals gently wake up. A couple more. Good. Well done. Put it back down again. Grab that ball, hopefully, whoop, it hasn't gone too far. If you can, straighten the legs. If not, keep them bent and they're coming up toward the ceiling. This time we're going to squeeze the ball between the ankles, and I want you to rotate so that one leg comes toward you, one goes away from you. Keep that squeeze. And then return it to the beginning position. Squeeze the ball and bring the other leg in front. Woo! And then return. Squeeze and twist. Return. Squeeze and twist. Woo! Return. You'll be feeling this in your hips as well as hopefully a little bit in through the base of those abdominals as well. Return. Last time. Beautiful. Grab that ball. If you have your weight from your last class, grab that. I've got 4 kilos here. You might want lighter, you might want heavier, depending on how bold you're feeling today. You're going to lift one leg up to tabletop, and when you lift it up, I want you to press into the knee with your hand. So hand is pressing down, knee is pressing back. At the same time, you're going to lift that weight up toward the ceiling. So we're going to do 10 on one leg. You lift and press and return. Lift and press. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Beautiful. 10. Good. Swapping sides. So we're not directly working the obliques in this, but we are working the chest, so one side of the front of the shoulder, the opposite hip. So we're getting that sense of diagonally working through the body. We're going to lift the knee and the weight and return. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Beautiful. Just put the weight to the side for now. So now we're lifting the legs up to tabletop. So one leg lifts. Lift the other one up if you can. So if this is going to be too tricky, we bring it back to what we did in the last class where we did up, up, down, down. If possible, we're going to work into the next progression, which is touching one leg down toward the ground, bring it back up again, and then alternating legs. We're calling this toe taps. Now, toe taps has that same sense of keeping everything nice and still within the pelvis. So that thing we practiced right in the beginning of lifting the leg up and down without moving the pelvis, just letting that thigh move and work inside the hip socket. This exercise has that same feeling. The pelvis doesn't move, it's the leg moving in the socket of the pelvis. And we're going to switch. And switch, keep switching. And it's that stabilization of the pelvis that is working the lower abdominals. Make sure you're breathing as normally as possible throughout this whole process. That can often be the hard thing. Last few. All right, even yourself up when you're even. Bring those legs back down, stretch them out. The hip flexors have been doing a little bit of work at the moment. So let's grab the ball and put it behind your upper back. You'll be familiar with this position from the first class. I want you to clasp your hands together like Charlie's Angels. Do we still know Charlie's Angels? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a pop culture reference that's gone out the window now. Arch your back as far as you're happy to. And then I want you to bring the hands up and bring the hands over to one side of the knees. And then you're arching all the way back, returning the hands to the center, or in front of your nose. As you twist up, you're coming to the other side. Nice and slow. We're going to just keep doing this twist 3. If you need to have your hands behind your head, please do. Make sure your neck is supported. But we're just giving this gentle twist side to side. So now that we've been working the lower part of the obliques, now I'm getting to work the upper part of the obliques. And we twist. Now along this next twist, so hands onto one side, the same side that you're pointing your Charlie's Angels hands to, you're going to lift and lower, just little lifts and lowers of that leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. And then arching all the way back over. Doing the same to the other side. I want you to think of, so imagine you've got a golf ball underneath your chin and you're holding that golf ball between your chin and your chest. It can feel like you've got a bit of a double chin happening, but what it's going to do is stop the front of your neck muscles overworking and allow some length through the back of your neck. Beautiful. Arching all the way over the ball. Straightening out those legs, getting a beautiful stretch through your tummy muscles as long as your body is happy to do this. Good. Roll to the side. All right, I'm going to go traditional Pilates on you for this next exercise. So Pilates himself had a series that he called stomach massage. So it's not a literal stomach massage, but what it does is it works all of the muscles around the abdominals. And by working those muscles, Pilates actually believed it helped to massage our organs, which is why he called it stomach massage. But I think we're not doing that exercise directly, but a lot of his work involved contraction and release of the contraction and release is a form of movement, but what it meant is that we were getting like the shortening of the muscles and the expansion of the muscles, which created that sort of stomach massage feeling. And we also integrated the hips, the abdominals, and required movement of the spine. Because as we spoke about in the last class, the spine or our back is the opposite muscle group to our abdominals. We can't necessarily work one without affecting the other. So we want to make sure that we have a lot of movement through the spine to actually be able to properly engage and find your abdominals. So I'm going to bring you onto your back again. You can have the ball between your thighs if you found it helpful to activate your inside thighs earlier, but you don't need for this exercise. We're going to do a spinal roll up. So from here, I don't want you to lift straight up to the ceiling like you might have done many times before, particularly in a strength class. I want you to think of flattening your back onto the ground. Imagine your spine is a string of pearls. You're holding one end at the tailbone, and then you're lifting that string of pearls up off the ground. So each bone of the spine lifts up, ideally by itself, quote unquote, and then you're dropping that string of pearls all the way back down again. So then we return to where we started. So we're tipping the spine, tipping the pelvis, flattening the spine, lifting up the tailbone first, and the rest of the spine follows. Inhaling at the top, and then exhale, coming all the way back down again. Inhale, rolling up. And then all rolling back down again. This is very clearly not the stomach massage exercise, but I think all of this sort of preliminary work in Pilates is actually building toward this stomach massage series. You should get that beautiful articulation through your spine, and you should feel a little bit of work in your abdominals to actually allow that articulation to happen. Beautiful. Now take the ball away. We're going to sit up. And I want you to have the legs slightly wider than your shoulders. So here we're going to add our rotation and twist. So I have the arms straight out to the side. I want you to imagine where your breastbone is, your chest. So we've got that marionette string coming all the way up to the ceiling that we found last class. Then we're imagining that waterfall falling over the front of our body, relaxing through our chest. Now in that midline of your chest, I want you to spin it toward one leg. So you're spinning that midline, crossing the opposite arm in front of the body and coming onto the outside, so the little toe side of that leg. We're doing 3 small pulses here, sitting all the way up and coming back into the center. If you find this position too hard to get into in the first place, prop yourself up on some blankets, some cushions. Try to make this as comfortable as possible. Not to say it is a particularly comfortable position in and of itself. But we're getting that beautiful sort of squeeze and ringing of our spine. Of our spine, of our abdominals, of our torso. Let's go torso. 1, 2, 3. Lift. We come down. 1, 2, 3. Lift and stay there before you return to that starting position. So try to have the control that once you've pushed against that leg, you can sit up and maintain that twist before coming around. We're doing it one more time each side. Lift before you come to the other side. Good. 1, 2, 3. Lift. Hands behind the head if you can, and you're actually going to roll down through the spine, let the chin drop, and try to bring the head as close to the ground as you can. And just relax here for a moment. Let the head be nice and heavy. And rolling back up again. Beautiful. Short and sweet oblique class for you today. I hope you've started to find where your obliques are. I think they're a little bit trickier to feel than sort of rectus, but really rewarding when you start to work them properly. We're going to do a lot more with the obliques, and we're going to do a lot more of the obliques when we're standing up. We're doing a bit more functional sort of work. So functional as in they look more like day-to-day sort of exercises for us. But this is a beautiful foundation to work from and to start with. And I am very excited to see where we're going from here. Until next time, I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.